因緣分盡，係國之宿命，梗係人之宿命。
Alright, hanging out with Donnie Yen again. Congratulations first things first on Sakra. Very exciting, of course. And not only are you starring in this film, but you also have the title of director. So moving forward, right, will we see you directing more projects? And also, how is it directing this film for you?
Well, first of all, I've been directing for many years. It's just most audience, they focus on what I do on screen. But in the past few decades, I've been involved with directing and in every aspect, every position behind the camera. Actually, I like working behind the camera more than act. But it's, again, you know, all the investor or producer, they only want to see Donnie Yen on screen.
Because no one can do what you can do.
No. So I directed my first film since 1995. You know, I have my own film company.
Yeah.
But with this project particularly, let me just begin to say that I like finding inspirations. And one of the ways to find inspiration is like, I try not to repeat so much so I can have that kind of freshness. The last action movie that I did was a contemporary cop movie, Raging Fire. That was a few years ago. So after that, I don't want to do another one, right? And this project came along. And I've done wuxia movies before, but it's been a long time. And the fact that I feel wuxia movies need a makeover, need a re-event, because since this first successful wuxia movie introduced to the world, which probably the most popular one was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, one Michelle Yeoh did that movie and won the Oscar. And then myself did a movie called Hero with Jet Li. I believe those two movies were one of the most popular ones to the world. I think that whole wuxia world, that whole style has stuck in a place where everybody think of wuxia movies, they think of people flying around for no reasons, of, you know, their hair, you know, with slow motion is spinning around in the air, and, you know, they don't need to come down to the ground.
Right.
But that isn't about a real wuxia movie. A real wuxia movie, first of all, wuxia movies are based on wuxia novels. And wuxia novels is a very rich literature from Chinese culture. It goes back to hundreds and even thousands of years, because it provides everything you need to be both entertaining and both educational. It's a literature. It's got culture, literature, religions, philosophies, and obviously a good story, entertaining story. So again, I want to use my passion and still as a filmmaker, and finding that passion, I need new projects and new challenges.
Yeah.
So I want to see if I can re-event wuxia movies for 2023. That was my motivation to make this movie.
你明知佢哋要攞你嘅命，點解你仲要嚟呢度啊？
Speaking of the challenges, you have a lot of action directors working on this movie. What were some of the challenges when coordinating big fight scenes?
I never have that challenge. Everybody thinks it's what, you know, you come up with these crazy action sequences, and where do you get the ideas and how do you do it? Number one, of course, I've been doing it for more than 40 years, right? And I have a lot of experience as a action filmmaker. But most of all, I have a way of looking at action cinemas. I never divide action sequences separately by itself, because you shouldn't. Because you will put yourself into a very cliche, narrow path. At the end of the day, if we're looking at movies, what is movies? It's telling a story, right? And it takes characters to tell a story. As long as you stay true to theory of making a movie, which is developing the right character, and that character works and the audience can connect to the character, and you stay true to that character. Whatever that character's background provide, by all means, that action style is already planted. For example, when I play Ip Man, I played a Wing Chun Grandmaster. Obviously, it's Wing Chun. So you go in that direction as, oh, I have to choreograph something in Wing Chun.
Right.
And then the choreography is depend on the emotion of that character. If that character is being challenged by rivals in the most friendliest way, then you know that choreography should not be anything that I'm not going to take your eyeballs out, right?
Yeah.
Right? If you guys recall certain scenes in the Ip Man series, when other rivals come to my house and I want to challenge you, and then I said to them, why don't we have dinner first? So it becomes more of that kind of
it's like a dance, right?
right.
In a way, right? Yeah.
But if the level of battle defines life and death, or is a revenge delivery of cinema's storytelling, then obviously you see more violence and blood, right? So isn't that difficult? Adding, it's like cooking, right? It's like you have so many elements. Oh, how do you make this dish? The basic ingredients are there.
It's great that you brought up, your past movies as well.
Yeah.
Of course, you would be too humble to admit this, but you've been in the movie business for
the
a
longest
long time,
Yeah.
right? So we want to know,
Yeah.
what is your secret to eternal youth? Because you managed to stay so young all these years, Donnie.
We're asking for your help, basically.
Yeah. Is there something we need to do on a daily basis?
You gotta stay young inside. You have to stay young. Well, obviously you gotta do the right thing. You can't be like working all day and partying all night, right? You can't do that, right? The diet thing is really important as well. Not to say that I don't eat tasty food. I eat anything. I eat anything that I'm desired to. I eat anything pretty much, right? But there's a balance to it. Ultimately, you gotta stay really young. Having a young heart is really important. And then just be open-minded. Don't tell yourself that I know I'm old, but you don't tell yourself I'm old because I know it's very cliche. Oh, age is just the numbers. You really have to tell yourself age is just the numbers, right? Hang out with younger people, hang out with your children, just chill, just relax. I always don't forget we came to the world as a baby. We're gonna go out as a baby as well, right? But and as an artist and as a filmmaker, you gotta stay that kind of youth, that creativity. Sometimes young people, they're the most creative people because they don't have any baggages. They don't have any rules, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're really free of expressing themselves. Maybe that's my, I won't call it a secret, but that's something that I can
No
share
limitations.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, so before we pass it on to our partners, really quickly, Chinese New Year is coming.
Yeah.
我朋友咧，佢就唔識講廣東話嘅
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be taking him
Yeah.
to my mom's house.
Yeah.
Can you teach him some greetings or some Chinese New Year wishes? In
Oh, easy. Your mom
Cantonese?
says, 你好靚女啊。
你好靚女啊. So that's if I want to date his mom, right? 你好靚女
No,
啊.
I mean you don't have to date it. You still, it's a beautiful thing to do. It's like giving them flowers, right? It's like it's a compliment to. Doesn't matter what age. Don't forget, deep inside, they're still a little girl.
Right. Wow, that philosophy that's great.
It's from Donnie Yen's mouth, dude.
你好靚女啊. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about like a Chinese New Year wish?
恭喜發財.
That's the
That's
basic
the
one.
common
恭喜
one.
發財.
恭喜發財.
That one I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The easiest I just say that Donnie Yen told me to say that to your mom, and she'll take that with open arms.
Oh, if you don't, you can say Donnie Yen say 你好靚女啊. As long as you say that too.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll use
Donnie,
that.
thank you very much.
Thanks.